What are your favorite shows to binge watch? I'm a super fan of Yellowstone and Big Sky, but when I need to just turn my brain off, Nailed It comes in for the win. I sure hope that you are finding the Freedom in Business show just as binge-worthy. You are going to want to turn your brain on focus mode, though, for our next guest. Let me introduce you to Kara Dennison. Kara is an executive career coach and business consultant, Forbes contributor, and host of the Attagirl Podcast. Kara's passion lies in helping high-achieving professionals accelerate their careers and make the money they're worth. She's reviewed over 300,000 resumes in her career and is responsible for negotiating nearly $10 million in salary increases. I know you're going to want to take notes on this one. Welcome to the show, Kara.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Well, I want to dig right on in and get a few of these questions that I've asked all of our guests. Go ahead and get those out of the way because I want to get to the LinkedIn goodies. I'm so excited about this.
Sure. Me too. LinkedIn's my favorite, so I'll talk about it all day long.
Perfect. Yay. Okay. So first, just tell me a little bit about how you first started in business. Was this the business you were in from the beginning and you started this one and it's always been this, or have you dabbled in some other things and then ended up here?
That's a great question. So I really started my career in human resources. I built out a human resources team, was a corporate recruiting leader, implemented applicant tracking systems, built a company, doubled its size in 3 years, and did all facets of human resources and really loved my job. And then as things do, leadership changed. I was no longer aligned with that company anymore. And the workplace actually turned a little bit toxic for me. And eventually it landed me in the hospital. And that was when I realized this is no longer for me. And one thing that really I was passionate about was seeing how that applicant tracking system that I implemented was actually filtering out high quality candidates. And the people that were actually getting hired were the people who were circumventing that system and getting directly connected to the decision makers, the strategies that I actually teach my clients now. And so along the way, I was doing a side hustle, as most of us kind of do nowadays, and I was helping people write their resumes and landing their dream jobs. And so when I ended up deciding to leave my corporate job, I started actually trying to figure out how to do just get some money, some side hustle. So I did some VA work, some blog writing, some social media. And then I realized, what am I doing? My passion lies in helping people find jobs. So I kind of got rid of that and started focusing just on the resume and LinkedIn optimizations. I partnered with a coach who was looking for someone to help with that. And I ended up really becoming an apprenticeship with that coach. Yeah. And within just 2 years, we helped over 1,000 professionals. We grew that business to a $1.4 million program in just a year and a half. And it was fantastic. We helped thousands and thousands of people land their jobs, both with the resumes and with the coaching. And as things turned out at the beginning of this year, I ended up separating from that partner and building my own coaching program with my husband. And now we're helping a lot of people find their jobs now in my own coaching program. So I do that. And I also help small businesses small entrepreneurs rather, do what I did, leave their corporate job, turn their side hustle into 9 to 5. And I also am a Forbes contributor and the host of the Attagirl Podcast now. So it's been quite a journey in only a couple years. So it's been exciting.
Yeah, that's so cool. And I love thinking about you just kind of named off those different streams that you have created that help you to get to your income goals, what you are achieving overall for you. Mm-hmm. And so I just want to go back through that. So you have your resume consulting and negotiations. Mm-hmm. You then help small businesses like me, those solo entrepreneurs, optimize their LinkedIn profiles to gain business, to gain clients. Mm-hmm. And so then what else? You mentioned one other
Yeah.
thing. Sorry.
So I do a couple of different packages for people who are looking for their next 9 to 5 job, right, in the corporate world. So we do resume and LinkedIn optimizations, and we do full coaching packages as well with unlimited coaching. And then we also have a course that you can do if you really want to DIY your search and not looking to really invest a whole lot, but really want the strategies in order to
Right.
beat your competition. So that's for people looking for corporate positions or their next 9 to 5. And then I help really people with side hustles who are looking to grow, start, or scale or streamline their businesses. I help consult them with all of my experience of really 10xing my business in a short amount of time. I help them as well. So I do that business consulting. I'm a Forbes contributor, so I write Forbes articles twice monthly, and then I'm a podcast host. It's called the Attagirl Podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So did all of that kind of just come about organically? Like there was a need, you saw it, or did you have a strategy as you develop these different avenues in your business? Did you have a strategy of, I want to start here and then we're going to add this and then we're going to add this, or did it just kind of happen organically?
That's a really great question. It kind of happened organically. I was doing the resume and the LinkedIn's. I got partnered with another coach. I grew my own coaching and separated from that coach. And that's where I really thrived, is coaching. I loved coaching when I was in human resources, and it's my zone of genius. It's my love. And then I had some people just reaching out to me saying, how did you do this? How did you grow your business? How did it get so fast and successful? Can you help me? And so it just kind of happened organically. And so interestingly enough, right now at the time of this recording, which is at the end of 2021, I'm actually restructuring my business because things happen so fast and so organically. Sometimes what happens is when you grow, you realize that processes aren't necessarily in place in order to sustain the scale that you want. And so what we're doing is we're going back and we're looking at my funnels, we're looking at my marketing, and we're restructuring and rebranding to make sure that we are meeting that 10-year vision that I have for myself and my business. And so that's really exciting for us as well. So that's what we're in the process of doing now.
That's cool. I love you talked about the need to have structure in place.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of us that are the solo entrepreneurs, we're just getting started. We're just trying to like make it through the day, right? Yeah. Like we're putting, it's duct tape and spit and Band-Aids and stuff to make things work for a while.
Sticks and stones.
At some point you do have to like, let's reevaluate.
Yeah.
And look at how can you streamline it. And I think what's important, and this is something that I try to do within my business, I'm not always successful, but I try to do within my business and try to coach my own clients in, is looking at structure, like the structure as you're developing it. Is this going to still work for you in 3 years at least, right? Like, is the system that you've purchased, is the tool that you're using to deliver your course or deliver your coaching, is that something that's going to work for you for the long haul?
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to have to do the rework. So,
absolutely.
So if I can make decisions from where I want to be, instead of that being like right where I am and saying, but I need to pinch my pennies and I need to do this. Okay, but this system, it might cost a little more, but it does everything that you need all in one place. Like that's, I know how I made some of my decisions.
Absolutely. And sometimes in that first year or two of business, you do kind of have to do sticks and stones and spit and bubble gum and all that other stuff, because you're just trying to get off the ground. And when you're that solo entrepreneur, you're wearing all of the hats, every single hat. And that's okay. But then once you start growing and scaling and realizing, hey, you have a sustainable business and it's growing, people want what you have to offer, it does really illuminate the need of needing that structure, those processes in place in order to scale to those next levels, in order to meet your clients and things like that. And so what's great is I had all those systems in place, but in order to grow to the place I want to be in 10 years, you have to start thinking in that 10-year mindset, right? So exactly. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? So it's exciting though. It really is. So yeah, I'm pumped.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what a typical day or week for you looks like when you've got these different avenues you've got to maintain. You've got your podcast, you've got the clients in different I know like I like to time block so that I'm thinking on one thing at a time, like, okay, this is the day that I'm coaching in this other program, and this is the day that I'm doing this other thing. So how do you structure your time?
That's a really great question. I love time blocking. I think it's a great method. I'm trying to get better at that right now. Right now, I live and die by my calendar. If it's not on my calendar, I am not doing it. So I use my, right? You have to. So my calendar and my email. So I use my email as my to-do list. So if it's unread, that means I have an action item. So keeping a tidy calendar or email and calendar is really important to me. So for me, I have specific days that I record my podcast so that I do time block that out so that people can't book around that. We have specific group meetings, twice or group calls for our clients every single week. And then we have open office hours for our clients. And then I start to schedule my week around those specific things. So as we're restructuring, I'm bringing more people into my business, new coaching, and I tend to try and look at my week and put the most important critical meetings in there. And then I leave my calendar open so that clients can kind of book in and things like that as well. I'm making it a point right now, starting and bringing into the new year, to really make sure that I'm starting to open my calendar at a certain time and close my calendar at a certain time so that I can really have a rock solid morning routine and get out of my office at a certain time. It's a little bit later. I don't get out of my office until 7 o'clock and I start at 7 in the morning. So it's a 12-hour day. Entrepreneurs, they hustle, but I really want to make sure that I start out my day with a rock solid routine. And that means, taking care of myself, doing meditation, getting camera ready, because I'm always on Zoom and things like that. Because I feel when I don't do that morning routine, the whole rest of the day is just off. So that's been really, really important to me. And I know, especially as women, I feel that we always tend to put ourselves last whenever things are getting piled up. And I'm trying to reverse engineer that and put myself first, because I know that I can pour more and give more when my cup is full.
Yeah. So the boundaries that you are setting now with like, I'm ending my day at 7, like no matter what, how do you structure that? Because I know for me, I make sure that I throw in time where it's like, nobody can book in here. If I feel like working during that time, I can, but like, especially on like Friday afternoons, like if I feel like working, I can. If not, I can go watch Nailed It for 3 hours until I pick my daughter up, right? And let my brain rest from any kind of thing. Like there are days that, like I said, I love Yellowstone and Big Sky and stuff like that, where there's drama, right? And there are days my brain doesn't need any more drama. It doesn't need to think about anything. It doesn't need, and I hear that. I schedule that kind of stuff in to my calendar, actually, when I know, like, I've been pushing hard, like for an event like this, there's going to be a couple days after this event is over that I don't do much of anything because I'm going to let my body recover. So how do you do that within your schedule?
That's a great question. So it's difficult. I mean, my husband and I run this business together. And so when you live together, you're married, you have a business together, sometimes it feels like the business never stops. It never does. And so we actually ran into this issue this year because we separated from my previous partner. He and I were getting it up and running, my husband and I, and it felt like we were never taking time for ourselves. And so getting out of the office at 7, really spending time with dinner together, having a little bit of vegging in front of the TV time, it helps to shut that brain off so that you can be more fulfilled the next day. And so I do put blocks on my calendar too, if I see that it's getting really filled up, because I have to run the business. I have to do marketing. A lot of my leads come from TikTok and things like that. And that's a lot of me having to be on camera and putting this stuff together. So I do block off certain times so that I can put those things together. And then once 7 o'clock hits, I really try and put my phone down as much as possible. It's not always a perfect system, I'll be the first to admit, so that I can have that time with my husband that's not work related, because it's easy to put the marriage on the back burner when we're so focused on the business. And then what we do is we do sometimes work on the weekends, but we always try and take Sundays off. No business on Sundays. Because you need that day of rest. You just need that day of rest in order to get back up for the next week.
Yeah. I work really hard to not open my computer on the weekend.
Yeah.
To like, I can still scroll on Instagram, maybe make a post or something if I feel like it. But yeah,
I try not to walk into my
okay.
office at all.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Not even open the door.
Shut the laptop, be done. Yeah, exactly. And have that break. Because it is so easy as an entrepreneur to just be like, there's always something to do. There's always something on the whiteboard or on the, on the flip chart that needs to be done. There's the whole to-do list, everything. There's something, always something. But yeah,
and
if
I
you don't
love
take
it.
care of you.
I love working. And that's kind of
Right,
my
me
problem too, is that I'm
too.
obsessed with it. And my husband's like, come on, it's after 7. I'm like, but I just want to do one more thing. And I love it. But then it does catch up to me and my brain starts,
Yeah.
shutting down a little bit.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, I want to shift into your expertise in LinkedIn, because
Sure.
I know that our viewers are waiting to hear all about that too, because it is not the platform that most entrepreneurs are looking at when it comes to promoting themselves and being seen. And so I'd love to hear your advice on how do you become that industry leader on LinkedIn? How do you be seen as that industry leader on LinkedIn?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the really exciting thing about LinkedIn is that you're right. A lot of people don't think of it as a really powerful platform, especially for entrepreneurs. People think, okay, well, if you're going to be on LinkedIn, it's because you're looking for your next job or et cetera. But here's the thing is that all decision makers, for the most part, are on LinkedIn. So whatever your service is, most of the time you can find buyers on LinkedIn. People with money are on LinkedIn, right? So, and they are hanging out on LinkedIn too, most of the time. So what's really interesting about LinkedIn too is its algorithm is unlike anything else, and it doesn't change very often. So that's a really exciting thing too, because with Instagram, I'm on pretty much almost every platform now, and I feel like we're constantly trying to change, TikTok just changed this and Instagram just changed this, and you're like, oh my gosh, right? But with LinkedIn, it doesn't really change its algorithm. And the other cool thing is that 98% of the content that's being shared on LinkedIn is being shared by only 2% of the users. That means that there is a huge blue ocean to be able to be seen as an industry leader or an expert in your field just by sharing at a very minimal amount and by being consistent on LinkedIn. So it's a really exciting platform where you don't have to do that much in order to really be seen as an expert there. But what it really starts with is, getting your profile optimized so that you're being seen as that industry leader, so that when people click on your profile, it's like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. And then it starts with a content plan. The other thing is, let's talk about that algorithm for a second. So how that algorithm works is, if you were to create a post on LinkedIn, so let's talk about you and I, right? So if we're connected on LinkedIn, I've got 10,000 followers, right? If you were to create a post and I were to like it, how LinkedIn works is it then blasts your post to whoever likes or comments on your post, to all of their connections. So on Instagram and Facebook, your content is only being shared to the people who are following you, who are in your network, right? Or if you have a specific hashtag. With LinkedIn, what's really cool is, you can have the virality is a lot more potent there. So you can share a post, I can like it, and now that post is now being blasted to my 10,000 connections. If one of those like it, now all of a sudden it gets being blasted to their network. So it has the potential to go really a big far reach. So I've had clients write a post that really isn't that great. And then all of a sudden it's being seen by a CEO of a company who's like, I got to talk to that person, and then they're messaging and commenting and getting connected and saying, hey, can we have a conversation? And then they get hired. So it's really a fantastic platform, and it doesn't really take that much effort to really get seen by the people you need to get seen by.
Gotcha. So before we talk about the types of content that you may put on LinkedIn versus maybe what you would put on Instagram or Facebook,
Sure.
tell us a little bit about the optimization of your profile itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So, am I able to share my screen?
I can make that happen.
Let's
Sure.
do it. Let's really dive in.
That's right.
So there's a few things while we get this going that I want to talk about with LinkedIn, and I like to give like some golden nuggets here. Some of the unique features that not everyone really knows about, because LinkedIn is kind of rolling out some new kind of interesting features. So I'm going to go ahead and share my profile here, and I haven't updated it in a while. So this is all stuff that I've done a little bit ago. So I'm actually going to refresh it here because it's going to show you something right away. If you take a look at my picture, see how it's kind of talking? What you can actually do is you can record, and I know because I'm on my speakers, you won't be able to see it, but if you ever go to my LinkedIn profile, you can check this out. It has actually a very cute freeze frame here, but it has the ability to add a quick video to your profile picture to introduce yourself to your audience who comes to your page. That's really exciting. So that's a little fun tip that not hardly anyone on LinkedIn is doing. So you as an entrepreneur, what's really great is you can kind of come on, and anyone who comes to your video, you can say, hi, I'm Kara Dennison. This what mine says. Hi, I'm Kara Dennison. I help high achieving professionals make the money that they're worth. I'm also the host of the Attagirl Podcast. Make sure to follow me on LinkedIn for tips and tricks to maximize your career, right? But you could do that for whatever business that you are. The other kind of cool tip, and I'm telling you the cool tips kind of out of order before we talk about actually optimizing your profile, but I just love the cool tips.
That's okay. Yeah.
The other cool tip is
that's one of those things that helps you stand out, though.
Yes.
Not because others aren't doing it.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you click on anyone else's profile, it's very rare. So when you have something that is engaging like that, people are like, ooh, and it feels personal, right?
Yeah.
The other thing here is this little audio thing. Again, since I have my things on, you won't be able to hear, but if you check me out, you can click on it. This is a new interesting feature that LinkedIn put in, and what it is intended for is for people to record the pronunciation of their name. So if you were to click on it, most likely you would hear people say Kara Dennison, or something like that, right? But the cool thing is that it's 10 seconds long. You can record up to 10 seconds. So how can we maximize that 10 seconds? So what I did is, if you were to ever click on it, it says, hi, I'm Kara Dennison. I help high achieving professionals land their dream job. Follow me here on LinkedIn for more career tips, or something like that. So for you, it could be, hi, I'm Stephanie Ferreira. I'm the CEO of Impact, whatever. So, this is a really great, interesting tip to, again, set yourself apart, because most people are going to click on this expecting to hear your name. And all of a sudden you're like, ooh, oh, hey, that's really nice, interesting, and sets you apart. Hardly anyone is doing this, even for the name pronunciation. And I have only seen 3 profiles that have an actual introduction in there. So you can really set yourself apart on that. So with this, you can only do it on the mobile app. So you are not able to do this on the actual desktop app. So with both the video and the audio ones, you would need to have the mobile app on that one. Cool. So let's talk about the actual content of your profile. So this is the back end. This is what it would look like if you were looking at your profile, where you can edit it. What you really want to make sure is to optimize all the key parts of your profile towards whatever you're going for. The most important part of your profile to optimize is going to be your headline. And why do I say that? The reason why is, if you go to your homepage, and as you go through and look at people, as you're going through and looking at content and stuff like that, the only piece of information from your profile that gets blasted to the homepage is your picture and your name and your headline. And so you want, and what I love about this guy here, Jordan, is and sorry, Jordan, you just happened to pop up on my homepage, so you're now in this here, is that
he doesn't mind.
well, he helps entrepreneurs blaze through their own trail, so he probably enjoys it. But yeah, so what's great about Jordan is he created a really powerful headline that tells exactly who he is and how to contact him, all from this piece of content without having to go to his profile. But if I was an entrepreneur that was really looking for marketing, sales, and leadership consulting, this is engaging. This would make me want to click on his profile, right? So if you go down, this is another one. I think people are kind of catching on to this, but most people tend to just have their, well, I must have a lot of good people here, right? Most people tend to have their picture, their name, or their most recent title at their most recent company. So having something that really sets you apart is going to do wonders for your profile and getting more people to your page. Now, once they're on your page, you really want to make sure that you're capturing them in the first 6 seconds. Most people, if they don't like what they see in the first 6 seconds, they're going to click off and find someone else. So the best piece of advice that I can give you is make sure that things are very crystal clear for people, because confused people, they don't move forward. Right. So with that, I like to have a good banner profile image. This is a little bit crowded, so I'm going to be updating this shortly. But what you want to do is tell them exactly who you are and what you do. So right here, it says executive career coaching to give you back control of your career. That's exactly what I do. And it tells them exactly who I am and what I have. So getting a lot of time, what I see for both people who are entrepreneurs and in the corporate world is I see either no banner profile at all, which is a missed opportunity, or just a banner profile image that's like flowers or a cityscape or whatever. It's not doing you a favor. So I highly recommend doing this. And you can do this in Canva. So Canva is completely free, and they have a template that just says LinkedIn banner image. So you can easily pop one in, no problem. Moving on down, it's to your about section. And we'll go back up to some of this other stuff, but having an about section, what I really like is having some sort of like emoji or checkbox, and it doesn't have to be so aggressive. I'm in a professional setting, so I like to just have the checkbox, but we're visual creatures, right? I want to make sure that I'm leading people to what I want them to read. I've been responsible for $10 million in salary increases. They like the fact that I have an HR background. This is what we do. And this is where they can kind of find me. So this is what I want to make sure that they're doing. A big mistake in about sections is big paragraphs, like big paragraphs of text. So breaking it up where it's a little bit easier to read is going to do you a favor as well. And then when you go into your experience section, as you go through and you're an entrepreneur, it's okay to leave where you've worked before in there, because people want to see your journey. How did you get to be an entrepreneur? Right. Why are you doing this? But in this, you can kind of say, you can add a little bit of a testimonial. You can talk about the positions that your clients are, that's what I'm doing, but like, what are your clients thriving in? What kind of clients do you help? And things like that. So a lot of times people think, well, I'm an entrepreneur, I shouldn't be on LinkedIn, I'm not in the corporate world. Absolutely, you can, because you can pitch your services all through here.
Right.
What's great about the featured section too, and I know I'm going by very fast, but I want to give as much value as possible.
Yeah. Fantastic. Keep going.
In the features section, what I love about this, and I need to update this as well, but you can put a lot of different things in here. So you can put articles. So you can write articles and you can put them in here. You can put links. So if you have a link to your website, you can put that in there. A link to your portfolio, you can put that in there. You can put media. So I have links to all of my YouTube success stories in here so that people can check them out right away. And this is a really great way if you are just starting out, if you don't have a website, if you don't have anything that's driving people and you're just getting started. It's a really great way to really showcase everything that you have. You can put your portfolio, you can put success stories, you can put a PDF. I have my resume clients upload their resume on here, so it makes it easier for recruiters to see it right off the bat. So you can upload a whole lot of things on here, and this could be your website as you're working on your website and getting connected. And one final thing that I will, or two final things that I'll go over, and then I'll answer any of your questions as I'm going by really fast. Skills and endorsements. This is a really great way to kind of showcase your skills. So a lot of times one thing, and I keep this in here just to kind of showcase on things like this and to my clients, is a lot of times people will have old skills such as Microsoft Office and Excel from their previous past experience, right? But you're going to want to go through and do an audit of your skills. What were you doing in corporate? Is it relevant to what you're doing in entrepreneurship? If it's not, you might want to go in and change your skills and really get in there and showcase what you can do for your clients. Can you do business development? Can you do social media? Like whatever your business is, make sure that you're showing those skills, and especially those top 3 skills. Because most of the time I clicked show more, but they're only going to really take a look at those top 3. So I really want to make sure that those people who are watching, if you're doing a skill audit, adding in new skills for your business, take a look at your top 3. Do those make sense? If your ideal clients are looking at your LinkedIn profile and they're like, what can she really do for me? Okay, yeah, for me, it makes sense that she can coach me. She has HR experience. She's SPHR certified, and she can write my resume. Perfect. That makes sense, right? The other thing is this is a really great way to get testimonials. So what I love about this is that you can just ask for a recommendation, and I can just type in, I'm just going to type in my husband right here. And I could say that he was a client of mine when I was here. And then I could just say, hey, can you write me a recommendation? It sends him a letter or a message, and he'll write a recommendation. And what's great is I've had so many people write me recommendations. I just screenshot this, put this on my website, and it's all in one place, and people can go and read this. And if people are like, hey, can I see some testimonials? I just send them a link to my LinkedIn profile, or, you can screenshot and put on your website and things like that as well. So I went over so much, very, very fast, but I wanted to make sure that I got a lot of the top tips in for you guys. And then we can kind of talk about content and stuff too, but I wanted to go over the profile really quick for you. You're like, okay.
Breath now. No, that was fantastic because that part of it is so important. That is the quick overview of who you are. Yeah. And so, content is second to that, because that's what if somebody likes what you have, or somebody's looking for your skill set, that's what they're going to be looking at first. Yeah. So yeah, I was taking notes, and I hope everybody else was too. And of course, you can always upgrade to the lifetime access so that you can watch it again, and then come watch it again when you want to update again, and come watch it again when you want to, when you're ready to take that next step with your LinkedIn profile. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about then moving into content. What are the best ways? Because I know you can have content on your website that then you can do a little preview of it and link over there. But then you could also put articles directly on LinkedIn. When would you do one versus the other, or like any kind of repurposing to save time for all of us as entrepreneurs is key. So how do you repurpose what you're already doing so that you can use it across other social platforms and it works for LinkedIn too?
Yeah. So when it comes to articles, if you're writing blogs for your business or stuff like that, what I would highly recommend is go and copy and paste them onto LinkedIn. Because here's the thing, when it comes to marketing that I'm realizing is that not your ideal audience can be on every platform. So for instance, I've got at the time of this recording almost 40,000 followers on TikTok. When I did not want to get on TikTok, I felt really old. I was like, I'm not doing dances. Right. I am not one of these like whatever, but I got on it and I thought, everyone was going to be very young, or they're not going to be my ideal clients, but I've landed some really ideal clients from TikTok who are directors, VPs, executives who they're on TikTok. So the interesting thing is your ideal client is on every platform. You don't know what platform they're going to be on. So LinkedIn is a great way to, if you're already doing blogs and stuff like that, go ahead and copy and paste them onto LinkedIn, because you never know if you have an optimized profile and you're doing a basic content plan, they might not ever click over to your website, but they might read it on LinkedIn. So I'll kind of show you how to do this real quick. And I'll tell you about some of the interesting posts that people do on LinkedIn. So how to do it is actually from the homepage, which is interesting. Let me just go all the way up to the top here. So you can literally do a photo post, a video post. You can just write an actual text post. You can do a poll. You can do all of these different types. And then you can actually write an article here. So you can do it as yourself or your business if you have a business page, but just start out as yourself. It's not that big a deal. So what I would do is it literally looks like a blog writing, right?
Yeah.
It looks exactly similar. So if you're writing something, just do a headline, upload the same image from your blog and copy and paste it in here. And what's great about this is that people will share it, people will comment, and you're having your same content in the same place. You own that content. Why not put it everywhere, right?
Right.
The good news about articles, and what I like to say about articles versus posts, is articles on LinkedIn is how you really dive in and show your expertise, just like how a blog would, right? On a post on LinkedIn, you're going to want to kind of, again, show your expertise, but it might be a little bit more short. Things that actually really work really well on LinkedIn, because everything's a little bit different, is every platform is a little different. Things that work really well are actually text posts. No photos, videos, or anything like that, surprisingly. So that really works really well. Video works really well as well. The interesting thing about LinkedIn and its algorithm is that it does not, the algorithm itself and I have some friends that actually work at LinkedIn that have told me that it does not actually favor one piece of content over another. So you can go and do whatever you want on LinkedIn, and it's going to just show it the same.
Right.
What I have found in my postings and things like that, and with my clients, text posts really work really well, and video work really well. Video just is king these days. It just is.
Yeah.
So there's that. But the other thing that really works really well is polls. So I think we had seen a poll here, right? Are you on leave? This, whatever it is. But this is also a very large text post. But what's great about this is it gets a lot of engagement, a lot of comment and things like that. And again, when we talked about that algorithm, the more comments, the more likes, it then gets your reach going even further. You can do carousels, you can do photo, all of this different stuff. And that's what's really great about LinkedIn, is that it's not going to favor one or the other. So yeah, that's what's awesome. The interesting thing about LinkedIn is that it is not a type of platform that is going to favor if you post multiple times. The sweet spot in LinkedIn is between 3 to 4 times a week.
Okay.
So, what it does favor for you is consistency. So if you're posting about 3 to 4 times a week, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever it is, it's going to start showing you more often, because it's like, hey, you are a consistent player on this platform.
Awesome. This has been incredible. This was like a LinkedIn masterclass, and I love it. Thank you so much for so generously giving during this event and sharing that knowledge. You have a free gift for us, which will help with optimizing the profile. Can you tell us about that, the guide that you have available?
Yeah. So I have a guide available on my website. You go to optimizecareersolutions.com and you can download my 5 tips to optimizing your LinkedIn profile. You're more than welcome to download that at any time. So if you don't upgrade, which you should, what are you doing? You can go ahead and download that as well. But I highly recommend upgrading and watching this over again when you're upgrading your LinkedIn, because I gave you so many more tips that's in this guide. But at any time you can get that guide and download that. And we talk about the 5 key main tips about updating your LinkedIn profile.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kara. This has been awesome. I was taking notes, like I said, because I know I have done some updates to my LinkedIn, and I post there sometimes, but it's still like I should go put this one over. It's not part of my normal content plan and repurposing plan. And so I know, though, that with a lot of the people that I work with, that I coach in creating their businesses, they are out there because they're still in their 9 to 5, and this is something that they're doing on the side. This is something that's like their retirement plan or whatever it might be, or it's just, they want to create something little on the side that just gives them something else to do with a little more purpose than maybe their 9 to 5 job does. And
well,
so
that's a really good, interesting thing that you brought up. So if people are in their 9 to 5 and they have a side hustle, a question that I get all the time is, what do I do with my LinkedIn profile? Like, what if my company sees it So here's what I would recommend is LinkedIn allows you to connect with upwards of 100 people every single week. That's your cap. So, that means that you can connect, if you're doing Monday through Friday, you can connect with 20 people every single day. If you're afraid to update your LinkedIn profile to add your side hustle because you're worried about your 9 to 5, things like that, start now and do yourself a favor for your side hustle. Find on LinkedIn your ideal clients and just start connecting with them. Send a little note. You can hit here. I'll just show you here. You can send a little note. Okay, I'm going to find the second. Sorry, Mohammed, you just happen to be here. So if you don't see the connect button right away, just hit the more and you can hit the connect button here. And then you're going to hit connect and add a note. And what you're going to say is something like, hi, I'm not going to type it all out, but hey, I see that we're in the same area, or I see that you do this and that sounds really fascinating to me. I would love to add you to my network. And then just hit send. Now, a good connection rate, I'm going to not connect with him because I don't know him, but a good connection rate is going to be between 20 to 30%. So that means if you connect with 100 people every single week, maybe 30 people are going to say yes. Now, that's every week. If you do that for a year, I don't know math, but that's a lot of people. And that means if you're doing that for a year, all of a sudden, when you do change over your profile and you optimize it and you launch your side hustle, now you have hundreds and hundreds of people that are your ideal client that are seeing your content when you're posting. So I would highly recommend at least starting with connecting and making small changes to your LinkedIn profile. Maybe start with the skills, maybe start with getting a recommendation here and there, maybe start adding in some of your results of how you've done things at your 9 to 5 that relate to what you're going to be doing in your side hustle, so that you can slowly change over.
That was gold right there. Like, that was bonus content for you guys. Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you for being on the show, Kara. I really appreciate it. This has been amazing, and I look forward to staying connected with you in the future as well.
Absolutely. Connect with me on LinkedIn.
I will.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure.
Wow, not kidding. You just got like hundreds of dollars worth of consulting right there in an hour. And if you didn't get all your notes, you're like, oh my gosh, what did she say? Like, definitely today you could go back and watch it again. But seriously, go ahead and upgrade to get your lifetime access, the lifetime pass, because this is only one of many interviews and trainings during this show that you're going to want to watch again. And I know from personal experience that when it comes to something like this, I'm going to go through it and I'm going to do it. I'm going to go do the work, right? So all my notes that I took of the headline and all of that, I'm going to go do the work. And then like 6 months later, I'm going to look at it and I'm like, oh, I need to update this again. I want to make it better. Let me go look at that training again and get the details again, because it's going to make more sense this time. It's going to land differently. You're going to hear something differently. So don't miss out on the opportunity to upgrade to lifetime access. There is a link here on this page to upgrade. Go do that now.